God says, this will happen in 1 hour. Someone will give you a surprise in your life. Chosen one. Stop. Right now. Do not keep scrolling. Do not let your mind wander for even a second. Go into your room. Close the door. Breathe deeply. And listen in silence. Because this word is not ordinary. And this moment is not casual. Heaven has interrupted your day on purpose. You were not drawn here by accident. And you are not hearing this message like everyone else hears it. You are hearing it as one who has been marked, called, and set apart by God for a holy assignment. There is a reason your spirit has been restless. There is a reason your chest has felt heavy. Your thoughts have felt intense. And your soul has been sensing that something is about to shift. It is because the hour has been marked. The unseen has already started moving. What has been delayed is now approaching. What has been silent is preparing to speak. What has been hidden is preparing to step into the light. Chosen one. Within the next hour, a sign will come near you. It may arrive as a message, a call, a name, a memory, a sudden opening, or an unexpected voice breaking the silence. But when it comes, your spirit will recognize it before your mind can explain it. Do not dismiss the small thing, because God often uses one moment to unlock an entire season. This is not entertainment. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine interruption sent to awaken your attention before the surprise reaches your life. Someone is already being moved. Something is already aligning. A door is already responding to the command of heaven over your life. You have cried enough, waited enough, and wondered enough. Now the atmosphere around you is changing, and the next hour will carry evidence that God has not forgotten your name. So stay still, stay alert, stay ready, and if you believe this word found you at the exact right time, comment 777 below. Declare, I am ready. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this message with someone who needs to know that their hour of divine surprise has begun. You did not arrive at this message by chance. And deep down, you already know that. Something in your spirit paused before your mind could explain why. Because heaven knows how to reach you before logic ever catches up. This word found you in a precise moment, not when you were strongest, not when everything felt clear, but right here, in the middle of the tension, in the middle of the questions, in the middle of that silent place where you have been carrying more than anyone knows. That is why this matters. That is why you must listen carefully. You have been set apart for more than survival. You have been called into a life marked by purpose. And the pressure you have felt has not been random. It has been the weight of transition. It has been the strain of moving out of one season and standing on the edge of another. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. John 10:27. That verse is alive over this moment because your spirit recognized a voice your flesh could not yet name. You were drawn here because something holy is unfolding around you. And heaven did not want you distracted when the first sign appeared. The restlessness, the sudden memories, the unusual sensitivity, the feeling that something is closing while something else is opening. None of it is meaningless. It is all part of the call. Before you see the evidence with your eyes, you are being asked to receive it in your spirit. Before the message arrives, before the call comes, before the door opens, you are being positioned to discern what others would ignore. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1-5. You are not overlooked. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are being summoned into awareness. And if you know this message did not find you by accident, come on. I was led here on purpose. because what is about to unfold in your life will confirm that heaven has been guiding this hour all along. Within the next hour, the silence around your life will not remain the same. Hear that again. Because this is not a poetic phrase meant to stir your emotions for a moment and then disappear. This is a living word, and it is pressing against the door of your reality right now. What has been quiet will begin to respond. What has been hidden will begin to show itself. What has been delayed will begin to move. Before this hour is complete, a sign will come near you. And when it does, something deep within you will recognize it with a trembling certainty that no one will be able to talk you out of. It may not look dramatic at first. It may come softly, through a name on your screen, a sudden message, a phone call, a familiar voice, a memory rising without warning, or a door opening in a way you did not expect. But do not make the mistake of calling small what heaven has chosen to use as sacred. God has always known how to place eternity inside a moment. One sound can shift a season. One message can break months of heaviness. One unexpected sign can become the line that divides who you were from who you are about to become. You have spent long enough living in the ache of uncertainty, long enough carrying questions that never seemed to receive an answer, long enough trying to be strong while your spirit quietly whispered, "Lord, when will it change?" And now this hour stands before you like a threshold. You are not being told to panic. You are being told to pay attention. You are not being told to chase anything. You are being told to discern, because what is coming towards you is not empty noise. It is confirmation. It is movement. It is the first crack in the wall that has stood too long in front of your peace. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Habakkuk 2:8. This is why your spirit has been unsettled. Something appointed is beginning to speak. So stay present in this hour. Guard your attention. Keep your heart open, and tell me in the comments, what kind of sign have you been praying for? A message, a call, a restoration, or clear direction? There is someone connected to this hour more deeply than you realize. And even now, their heart is being confronted by what they tried to bury. The distance, the silence, the delay, the unanswered questions. None of it has been as final as it looked. What seemed sealed was only being held. What seemed forgotten was only being brought to the place of reckoning at this very moment. While you are listening to this word, God is moving where your hands could never reach and speaking where your voice was no longer welcome. The person tied to this surprise is not at peace the way they pretended to be. Something has been stirring them. Something has been pressing on their mind in quiet moments, returning your name to their thoughts, bringing your presence back into rooms they thought they had already left behind. They may have tried to outrun conviction. They may have tried to silence the memory. They may have tried to convince themselves that what was lost no longer mattered. But heaven knows how to shake what pride tries to protect. Heaven knows how to bring truth back to the surface. And now, what was buried under ego, fear, confusion, or regret is rising again. This is why you must not judge the next hour by what you see right now. The visible world has been lagging behind the spiritual one. Before a message is sent, a heart is shaken. Before a hand reaches out, a conscience is awakened. Before restoration appears in front of you, something must first break open inside the one who carries it. And that is exactly what is happening. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. Even the pain, even the silence, even the wound they left behind has not escaped the hand of God. He has been weaving through all of it, not only to reveal truth to them, but to prepare peace for you. Do not be surprised if the one who once resisted suddenly begins to soften. Do not be surprised if the one who disappeared begins to feel the weight of your absence in a way they never did before. Do not be surprised if words long delayed begin to form, because this is the hour when hidden things start losing their power to stay hidden. Something is breaking. Something is turning. Something is being forced into honesty by the presence of God. And when the sign comes, you will understand that heaven was not ignoring your tears. Heaven was moving on the other side of them all along. Tell me in the comments, do you believe someone is being stirred to reach you right now? If this is speaking directly to your spirit. Right. I receive divine movement. What is coming toward you is not shallow, and it is not temporary. This surprise is not about impressing your eyes for a moment and then leaving your spirit empty again. It is not about a gift that fades, a thrill that disappears, or a sign that means nothing by tomorrow. What God is releasing into this hour reaches deeper than appearance. It reaches the wound. It reaches the question you never fully spoke aloud. It reaches the place in you that has grown tired of pretending to be fine while still carrying the weight of what was broken. That is why this next movement in your life matters so much. It is not merely an event. It is restoration. It is clarity. It is the beginning of peace returning to places that have known too much confusion. You have lived long enough with loose ends in your spirit. You have carried unresolved pain, unanswered prayers, and moments that never seem to make sense. But God does not waste pain, and He does not leave His called ones in endless confusion. He knows exactly where the fracture began, exactly where your strength ran thin, exactly where your heart learned to be cautious. And now, in this appointed hour, He is not just sending a sign to excite you. He is sending something that touches the deeper need beneath the sign itself. For some, it will be closure. For others, it will be confirmation. For others, it will be the first breath of relief after a long season of inner pressure. But whatever form it takes, its true assignment is the same: to restore what fear, en silence, delay, and grief tried to take from you. He restoreth my soul, Psalm 23:3. That is the heart of this moment. Not performance, not noise, restoration. The kind that settles your spirit instead of stirring chaos. The kind that reminds you that God has not only seen your suffering, but has also prepared an answer, shaped with wisdom, timing, and mercy. So do not reduce this hour to curiosity. Receive it as healing. Receive it as alignment. Receive it as the gentle but undeniable hand of God reaching into your story and saying, enough confusion, enough wandering, enough sorrow without response. Peace is coming back. And when it arrives, it will not feel forced. It will feel like something your spirit has been waiting to recognize all along. What felt like delay was never abandonment. It only looked that way because you were standing inside the process while heaven was already looking at the outcome. There were nights when you thought the silence meant no. Days when you wondered whether the prayer had gone unanswered, whether the door had truly closed, whether the waiting itself was the final message. But listen carefully now. God was not withholding your future from you. He was preparing you for a weight you could not carry in your former condition. He was refining your discernment, strengthening your spirit, teaching your heart how to recognize what is holy and reject what is merely familiar. The delay was not empty. It was sacred. It was the hidden workshop of God, where what looked still on the outside was actually being aligned with precision on the inside. That is why some things had to fall silent. That is why some people had to step back. That is why some doors had to remain shut longer than you wanted. If they had opened too soon, they would have met a version of you that was still bleeding, still doubting, still too exhausted to protect what heaven was trying to place in your hands. But now something has shifted, not because God changed His mind, but because the season has changed its assignment. What once had to be restrained is now being released. What once had to be hidden is now being brought into the light. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. Habakkuk 2-3. Do you hear that? It will speak. Not maybe, not someday in a vague and distant future. It will speak. And part of what you are sensing in this hour is the sound of that promise beginning to break its silence. The waiting season did not come to destroy your faith. It came to deepen it. It came to strip away false dependencies, false timings, false expectations, until all that remained was a soul anchored in God alone. That is why you are not the same person you were when this journey began. You have been humbled, sharpened, tested, and carried. You have learned how to keep breathing in uncertainty. You have learned how to keep believing when nothing around you was moving. And now the very delay that tried to discourage you is about to become the evidence that God was arranging something better than what you asked for at first. So do not grieve the timing anymore. Do not curse the silence anymore. Do not call yourself forgotten when heaven has been this intentional with your life. You were being prepared, not passed over. You were being positioned, not punished. And the next sign that comes to you will not only mark a change in circumstance, it will reveal that God was faithful in every hidden moment, even the ones that hurt the most. Pay attention now, because heaven does not always announce itself with thunder. Sometimes it comes as a whisper so precise, so personal, so impossible to ignore that your spirit knows before your mind can explain. This is why this hour matters. This is why you cannot afford to treat the small things as meaningless. The sign you have been praying for may not arrive wrapped in spectacle. It may come quietly, almost gently, but it will carry a weight. Your soul will recognize instantly. It may be your phone lighting up at an unusual moment. It may be a name you have not seen in a long time, suddenly appearing before your eyes. It may be a song, a number, a memory, a sentence, a sudden peace that settles over your chest for no visible reason. Do not dismiss these things. Do not rush past them. Do not keep calling coincidence what God is using as confirmation. The Lord knows how to speak in ways that slip past the noise and land directly on the deepest part of you. And after the fire came a gentle whisper, 1 Kings 19:12. That is the atmosphere of this moment. Not confusion, not chaos. A whisper, a holy nudge, a sacred signal. Something is about to cross your path. And when it does, it will not merely catch your attention, it will reach into the place where you have been waiting, watching, hoping, and quietly asking God, "Are you still moving in my life?" Yes, He is moving. He is moving through what feels ordinary. He is moving through what others would overlook. He is moving through timing, through details, through the very thing your natural eyes might have ignored on any other day. But not this day, not this hour, because this is the hour in which your sensitivity matters. This is the hour in which your discernment becomes protection. This is the hour in which your spirit must stay awake. Some of you have already been seeing signs, repeating numbers, sudden flashes of memory, strange peace in the middle of pressure, a pull in your spirit you cannot explain, a feeling that something is near. You are not imagining it. You are picking up on movement before manifestation. You are sensing the footsteps of something that has already begun traveling toward you. So slow down. Guard your attention. Listen deeper than usual. The surprise will not need to shout to prove it is real. What comes from God carries its own authority. And when it reaches you, there will be a knowing in your spirit that says, "This is it. This is the shift. This is what heaven was preparing me to notice." Tell me in the comments, have you been seeing signs lately? And if you feel the shift already moving around your life, Type, I'm paying attention. It is no longer accurate to say that it is coming. It has already begun. The shift you have been sensing is not a rumor in the spirit anymore. It is movement. It is activation. It is the first undeniable stirring of something heaven has already released over your life. Chosen one, hear this with full attention. The hour is not approaching you from a distance. The hour has stepped into the room. It has entered your atmosphere. It is breathing against the edges of your reality even now. That is why the air has felt different. That is why your spirit has been unusually alert. That is why something in you has refused to settle back into numbness. Your soul is responding to motion that your eyes have not fully caught up with yet. What was once hidden in the unseen has started pressing into the visible. What was once delayed has received permission to move. What was once held back is no longer standing still. This is not the season of almost. This is not the hour of maybe. This is the beginning of manifestation. Even now, decisions are shifting. Hearts are softening. Paths are aligning. Conversations are being prepared. The very thing that looked frozen is starting to thaw beneath the hand of God. You do not need to force this. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to beg heaven to remember you. Heaven has already moved. The command has already gone forth. The answer has already left the unseen and started making its way toward your life. This is why fear must not rule you now. Fear belongs to moments where nothing is clear. But this hour is not empty. It is charged with intention. It is filled with divine acceleration. The same God who kept you through the waiting is now bringing you into the revealing. The same God who trained you in silence is now proving himself in movement. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 40, 3-19. There it is. Now it springs forth. Not later, not one day. Now, this is the language of this hour. Something has sprung forth. Something has broken ground. Something has crossed over from promise into process. And you, of all people, they must not speak to this moment as if it were still far away. No. Speak as one who understands that heaven has already initiated the turn. Speak as one who knows the sound of a breakthrough before it fully arrives. Speak as one who has been prepared to recognize the beginning, while others are still waiting for proof. The sign is not the start of the miracle. The sign is evidence that it has already started. So lift your head, steady your heart, guard your spirit. What you have been praying for is no longer gathering in the distance. It is unfolding now. And before this hour closes, you will know that the hand of God was already in motion long before you saw the first visible sign. When this finally reaches you, it will do more than surprise you. It will touch the deepest ache you have carried in silence. It will reach the part of you that learned how to smile while still hurting. The part of you that kept going while something inside was tired. The part of you that whispered, Lord, I believe, even when your heart was trembling under the weight of all it had endured. Because the true confirmation of this hour will not only be what happens around you, it will be what happens within you. The real sign will be peace. Not shallow peace. Not the kind you pretend to have so others stop asking questions. I mean the kind of peace that comes like a holy release. Like a knot inside your spirit loosening at last. Like your soul recognizing that the struggle is no longer speaking louder than the promise. This is why what is coming matters so deeply. It is not just about a message, a call, a name, or a moment. It is about the return of something your heart has missed for a long time. Safety, rest, breath, relief. For so long, you have lived with tension in your spirit, even in quiet rooms. Something inside you stayed braced. Even in moments of laughter, there was still a corner of your heart waiting for the next disappointment. Even in prayer, there were tears hidden behind your faith. But God has seen every one of them. He has watched you hold yourself together when no one knew how close you were to breaking. He has listened to the prayers you could not even finish, because the pain was too deep for language. And now this hour comes not merely to impress you, but to restore what fear has been stealing from you little by little. Peace I leave with you. The peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. John 14:27. This is the kind of peace being released over you now. A peace that does not depend on perfect explanations. A peace that does not wait for every answer before it settles in your chest. A peace that arrives as proof that heaven has stepped into your story again. So when the sign comes, do not only look at it with your eyes. Feel what it does to your spirit. Notice how the heaviness shifts. Notice how your breathing changes. Notice how the fear loses its grip for a moment and your soul says, without needing anyone to explain it, this is what I have been waiting for. This is what it feels like when God lets peace return to the places that have suffered too long. This is the turning point written over your life. And nothing about it is accidental. What you are standing in right now is more than a passing, emotional moment. It is more than inspiration, more than comfort, more than a brief stirring that fades by tomorrow. This is a threshold, a line in the spirit, a holy dividing point between what held you and what can no longer keep you. For too long, you have carried seasons that did not match who you truly are. Seasons of silence, seasons of delay, seasons where your value was hidden, your prayers felt suspended, and your heart had to keep believing without visible evidence. But hear this clearly now. That chapter does not get the final word. The pain does not get the final word. The silence does not get the final word. God does. And in this hour, His word over you is movement. His word over you is reversal. His word over you is release. You were never called to remain trapped in the place that wounded you. You were never chosen for a life defined by confusion, neglect, or spiritual fatigue. You were marked for something holier than survival. You were marked for evidence, for confirmation, for the kind of breakthrough that does not just change your circumstances, but changes the way you carry your own name. This is why the pressure has been so intense. This is why the warfare has been so personal. The enemy does not fight what carries no future. The resistance came because your next chapter carries weight, carries light, carries the kind of restoration that exposes every lie spoken over your life. Say, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. Revelation 3-8. Hold on to that. An open door. Not a possibility. Not a wish. An open door. That is what this hour is becoming for you. The very thing that looked blocked is yielding. The very thing that seemed unreachable is being brought within range by the hand of God. And when it happens, you will understand that heaven was not merely comforting you in the dark. Heaven was positioning you for a reveal. So lift your eyes higher. Do not speak like someone abandoned. Do not think like someone as defeated. Do not stand in this hour as if your story is still collapsing. Stand as one who knows that the Lord is rewriting the outcome. Stand as one who knows that what has been forming in secret is about to step into view. Stand as one who understands that this is not just another day in your life. This is the moment where the tide turns, where the pressure breaks, where the waiting gives way to witness. What is happening now is not small. It is the beginning of a different rhythm, a different atmosphere, a different chapter. And before this hour passes, something will confirm that the hand of God has already begun to turn your life in a new direction. Before this hour ends, heaven will leave you with something your spirit cannot deny. It may appear quietly. It may arrive without noise, without spectacle, without the kind of outward drama people expect when they imagine a miracle. But when it reaches you, you will know, deep within you, beneath the fear, beneath the questions, beneath the weariness you have carried for so long, there will be a holy recognition. Something will settle. Something will unlock. Something will witness to your soul that God has not forgotten a single tear, not a single prayer, not a single night you held yourself together while silently asking if your breakthrough would ever come. This is why you had to hear this word before the hour was complete. Not so you could be entertained, not so you could chase emotion, but so you could be ready when the sign appears, when the silence breaks, when the answer moves from the invisible into the visible. Do not let distraction rob this final moment. Do not let unbelief speak over what heaven has already set in motion. The surprise, the sign, the shift, the return of peace, the stirring in someone's heart, the opening of a door, the sudden knowing in your spirit, it is all part of a divine sequence, and now you stand at the edge of its revelation. You have made it through the waiting. You have survived the hidden season. You have endured the stretch between promise and proof. And now the same God who kept you in mystery is about to strengthen you with confirmation. So lift your heart, breathe again, steady your spirit. This hour is not empty. It is carrying evidence. It is carrying mercy. It is carrying the sound of heaven, touching your life once more. And now, let us pray. Lord, in the name of Jesus, I pray over the one listening to this message right now. Let your peace rest upon them. Let every distraction fall away. Let every chain of fear, confusion, heaviness, and delay be broken by your power. If there is a sign assigned to this hour, let it come clearly. If there is a message, let it arrive. If there is a door you are opening, let no one shut it. If there is healing needed in their heart, let your presence reach the deepest place of pain and restore what has been weary for too long. Confirm your word with peace, with clarity, and with unmistakable mercy. Let this be the hour they remember, as the hour you touch their life again. In Jesus' name, Amen. If this prayer and message spoke directly to your spirit, comment 777 and declare, Amen. My hour has begun. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs this word tonight.